Welcome to this explainer. Today we are jumping straight into an overview of our third term, Week 2 material. And we're going to tackle this with a slightly unique approach. We are going to treat the Nigerian federal system exactly like a living organism. We'll break down its origins, look at its structural bones, and diagnose its inherent ailments. Let's kick things off by thinking about a massive puzzle. Honestly, it's the fundamental question the architects of Nigeria's government had to face. How on earth do you govern a nation packed with incredibly diverse, competing interests? It is a tough one, right? Well, the answer they ultimately landed on was federalism.
To make sense of this whole political machine, we are going to hit 4 quick beats today. First, the origins of the system. Second, the reasons for the union. Third, the features of the system. And finally, the problems and challenges.
All right, diving right into Section 1, Origins of the System. Because, as you might guess, Nigerian federalism definitely wasn't just born overnight.
It actually had a really long gestation period. It kind of starts unconsciously back in 1914 with the amalgamation by Sir Lord Lugard. Then, jump forward a bit to 1946, and the Richards Constitution formally introduces the concept of regionalism. After that, momentum really starts to build in 1951 with the McPherson Constitution. But the true defining moment, that hits in 1954, when the Lytton Constitution officially grants full federalism to Nigeria.
Which brings us to Section 2, Reasons for the Union. Why did the British government and local leaders decide this was the absolute necessary path forward?
Well, federalism wasn't just some abstract academic idea, it was a practical necessity. Think about it. They had to manage massive cultural, religious, and linguistic diversity. And at the same time, they needed to alleviate the very real fears that minority groups had about ethnic domination. Plus, it checked a lot of other boxes. It ensured collective security, it fulfilled British administrative desires, and it created a solid framework to harness regional resources for the betterment of everyone. Basically, a real win-win on paper.
Now for Section 3, Features of the System. This is the real meat of our third term Week 2 overview, the actual structural bones of Nigeria's federal government. It all boils down to one absolutely defining characteristic, the constitutional division of power. So power isn't just tightly gripped in one centralized fist. Instead, it is strictly and constitutionally shared out among the different tiers of government. And to keep that division intact, the system relies on a few vital organs. First, you've got a written and rigid constitution, which means the rules are intentionally super hard to change on a whim. Then you need a multi-party system to make sure varied voices are actually heard. And finally, a bicameral legislature, meaning there are 2 separate chambers working together at the national level to craft the laws.
But here's the catch. To serve this highly decentralized structure, the government requires a massive, deliberate duplication of functions. Think of it like a body with multiple nervous systems. Every single tier, both state and federal, needs its own parallel ministries, departments, and offices just to function independently.
Which naturally leads us to Section 4, Problems and Challenges. Because an engine with that many duplicate moving parts, yeah, it's bound to experience some severe friction.
It is literally a matter of cause and effect. The exact same feature designed to ensure independent representation, that massive duplication of functions we just talked about, creates a massive headache. It makes the system incredibly expensive to operate. Running parallel governments is just a huge financial drain.
And actually, beyond just the financial burden, there are 5 major friction points that consistently challenge the stability of the entire nation.
We can group these issues into 2 main camps. On the administrative and economic side, you have constant, fierce debates over revenue allocation. Who gets what share of the wealth? Plus, those crazy operational costs and endless physical boundary disputes between states. Meanwhile, on the socio-political side, the system is constantly trying to manage deep-seated ethnic disharmony, along with the persistent, lingering fear among minority groups of being completely marginalized. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a lingering thought. The anatomy of Nigerian federalism was meticulously designed to unite these diverse regions. But does its rigid structure actually have the flexibility needed to overcome these deep-rooted problems? Are the structural bones of this system truly strong enough to cure its inherent ailments? It's a huge question and something I definitely want you to ponder as you review this week's material.